Okay, I'm gonna play a little game of Ego Wars here. And show my face for once in a while. Alright, I decided to finally do an FAQ on this channel because I get lots of questions I hear over and over and over again, not related to gear or anything else. So, let's let my overinflated ego take over. One, why did you start this channel? Actually, believe it or not, this channel was started as a computer channel and not started as a guitar channel. The whole guitar thing started just because I needed a test video, because I wanted to see if it worked, because producing a good quality computer tutorial on how to swap out a graphics card or something like that on an old PC, 286, 386, something like that, or how to get Windows 3.1 modernized can take a lot of time, and I'm not about to waste that time and effort working on something like that when I don't know if the channel's going to even accept what format. When I started this, I was running different gear. Which brings me into what kind of gear do you use for recording. When I started out on YouTube, I was using a Pentium 3 based computer running Windows 2000. I had half a gig of RAM, 1 gigahertz CPU. I don't know if I can find it back. Yeah, there it is. No, wait, that's not it. That's batteries. Anyway, couldn't find the camera I use. But anyway, the answer to the camera thing is basically I was using my old digital camera that I used for taking photographs with, which I still use to this day, but I only use it for photos. Now I use a, I think it's like a 7 megapixel Logitech camera with, I don't really know the specs on it. I don't really care because, I'm not doing this to make money or anything. I'm just doing this mostly for the fun of it because I just like showing how to do stuff and just doing stuff for fun and hearing people's comments on it, Even though sometimes the comments can be kind of mean. And speaking of not being able to find the camera, I get asked a lot, why is your room always messy? Well, for starters, this isn't a room. This is actually just a part of my apartment. So yeah, all you people who've been saying that I live in my mom's basement, that's totally untrue. I actually support myself. Reason why a place is always messy, initially this happened because all through 2007, 2006 and 7, I wasn't making a lot of videos. I was working for a lot of different companies, just literally doing everything I could just to get by, and didn't have time to make videos. And during that time I also didn't have time to clean the house, so I've been catching up for the last 2 freaking years. It's irritating because I always keep getting closer and farther away and then closer and then farther away. I just can't keep it immaculate like I used to do when I first moved in. Another question I get is, why do I have so many guitars and computers? Well, for starters, I love guitars. I have since I was 15, actually since I was 10, 12. Got into guitar, started playing when I was about 10, 12 years old. Been playing ever since, been playing in bands, gigging, writing my own songs, posting my own songs on my MySpace, posting my own songs on SoundClick, just finding projects everywhere to get into. So yeah, guitars are one of my passions, if you will. The other one is computers, old computers, like 8088 through 486 based hardware. And I kind of got into that tied in with the guitar thing. Initially, I just wanted any kind of computer I could get my hands on, so I got a 386SX that in 2001, and I had a motherboard and a cupboard from a family friend for a 486, and I put the 486 board in the 386 chassis and built this hot rod PC. Then I started a website. After people start giving me more and more and more old computers, they're like, hey man, I've got like a 386 in my closet. You want it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I could use a few backups. These things are old. They're not going to run forever. And then the next thing I know, everybody's giving me PCs, and I'm starting to think, I should really try pushing the envelope on these things. And I started getting older and older machines, 286s, 8088s. Old Macs, and trying to make them do things that a modern PC would do. And that's kind of where the original basis of this channel started, actually, too, was I was going to show how to do that stuff. Looking at my list down there, why did I start doing Genie videos? This is a funny one. I had a floppy disk sitting in a case full of floppies that I've had since that first computer. I pulled it out and it said Game Genie codes, and I remember there was once upon a time when I was a really, really bored teenager, and I made a whole pile of codes that drew all kinds of sad, funny effects out of Nintendo games. I thought they were hilarious, but a lot of the people in the music thing didn't find them funny. So what I did was I thought, I might start doing this again and uploading them, but leaving out my annoying, retarded dialogue like I had. I used to have an old VHS tape with me actually doing that on there. I hooked up a mixer and a Nintendo to the VCR, and I actually plugged in a microphone and would sit there and narrate through the codes while the VCR would play, and I'd interject little bits of music in between. It was hilarious. I've already answered the question, do you live in your parents' basement now? It's already been answered, fuck it. Anyway, I'm sorry about the cursing, I'm trying to quit. Darn near 30, you think I could stop dropping the F-bomb soon. Why did you not show your face in the beginning? Well, the reason why I never show my face, at least not very often, is initially I was camera shy and I didn't really want people to know who was playing guitar. I just wanted them to focus on the guitar. Then when I started showing my face, it started to kind of bring out more problems that I was kind of aware were going to happen. Like, why do you look the way you do? Particularly the long hair and the gut I have here. Long hair. I've always had long hair since I was about 12, 13. Never really... I only go in for a trim once a year, so when you see it down to shoulder length, that's what I've done, and I do that at least once a year. Otherwise, it gets too ratty and I get split ends, and it looks like crap, so it's getting close to that time now. The other one is fatness. Well, I'm not really that fat for my height. You could only really tell in real life looking at me from the side, or so I've been told. Looking at me from up front, I just look really big. Kind of a 50-50 mixture of fat and muscle. I used to actually, at work, regularly lift 200-pound printers on regularity, sometimes by myself, because we had kind of a truck driver who was a dickhead, who used to leave me to lift the printers by myself. Another one is why so little activity, which goes to some of the Get a Life comments. So little activity, reason why is I do have a full life. I don't really need to fill you in on all of it, except for the fact I do indeed have a day job. I do indeed do other things as well. I have, friends and gigs and all kinds of other stuff going on. I can't even really list because it always changes constantly. I have a life that does not resemble order. So, there you go. There's your questions answered. Hopefully that clarifies some things.